I was in cohort number 1 this year. Well, I don't know if I start introducing any of the points.
Yes,
Helena?
sure. Maybe you can share your screen.
Yeah. Let me see. Give me a minute.
Good.
Uh, okay. Well, there you can see a picture. It's just a picture of the university in which we were. It was the first tour we did around the university to know, because they are so big, you have to know where to move, and they give you like an introduction the first days. And that picture was from the very first day. And I was going to go directly to the requirements, because I imagine if you are here, you want to apply for this scholarship, and maybe you have so many questions around your head that you really don't know if you want to apply or not. The first advice I'm going to give you is that you should. um, because there's a difference between Uruguay and the rest of the countries. The full support you're going to have there. That's the very first difference. Well, I'm going to read this with you, and if you have any kind of question, feel free to ask. It says applicants must be current secondary school level full-time teachers of English, English as a foreign language, math, science, or social studies, including special education teachers in those subjects at an institution serving primarily a local population. Have earned a bachelor's degree or equivalent, have completed at least 5 years of full-time teaching by the start of the program, reside in the country of citizenship at the time of application and of program participation, earn a minimum score of 450 on the paper base of TOEFL or an equivalent English language examination, demonstrates a commitment to continue teaching after completion of the program, and have submitted a complete application. It sounds like too much information in the very few days you have to apply for this, but it's not difficult. The only thing that if you want to apply and you have to hurry up is the recommendation letter you should find from your school. I think that's the only thing that will require more or less a lot of time. And now that we are not going to schools, but it's easy. Any other question regarding this?
I
No?
guess something important is that it's not only for teachers of English, and that's really interesting, it's for secondary school teachers. And maybe you can tell this information to some of your colleagues at school too, because we tend to believe that it's only for teachers of English actually. And that's an important piece of information.
And sometimes we feel scared regarding the level of English. And when you go there and you share your experience with other teachers, you realize that the levels are really different, and they really get on well with everybody, and they understand, and there's communication, and there's no problem. That's not a limit, in fact. You have to apply, you have to take this exam, but don't feel scared. That's the thing.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to leave this screen. And Elena, do you continue with next point?
Yes, sure. As I mentioned earlier, I went to University of Northern Colorado, and well, there we stayed at the university. I stayed in a flat. I shared my room with two more teachers, and well, actually we had two bedrooms, so I was sharing it. Two were in one bedroom, and the other one was on her own, let's say. And okay, we have like everything we need. And regarding seminars or courses, yes, we were taking special education course, technology workshop, English as a foreign language, and education course. This depends on the university. There are some like subjects like technology that in general, or English or methodology, you tend to have this kind of courses, but it could be a little bit different. For example, Gladys, you had other courses too?
Yeah, the main difference was that one of the courses was regarding gender, and the other one was leadership.
Yes.
And then we had technology, then we had lesson plan, then we had pedagogy, and we're like the same, but the difference were focused on those two courses.
Yes, you don't choose a university. I mean, um, you're assigned to one of them, and but I guess all of them are really nice, comfortable, interesting. They are. You might stay at a hotel too, not necessarily the flat in the. I mean, in the university campus. Let's say it could be a hotel, and
It was our case.
okay.
And because the hotel was part of the university, and we were like on campus, but in a specific place for exchange teachers.
Yes. And then you had activities in campus, let's say. Um, of course, you start with an orientation activity and school rotation, because you actually go to different schools to observe and teach. Basically, your lessons are related to your country, in this case, Uruguay, and you teach about the culture. Um, you can also share your family, maybe, and interests. And then you also have a family friends, let's say. Um, you can spend some time with them during the weekend or during your free time. And the idea is that you also get to know the American culture. Um, that's why you have that opportunity. And I had reflection time after my lessons. I had to go to the school on Tuesdays, and then I had a reflection time with the teachers in charge of organizing everything at the school. And we talked about our experience or things we needed to improve in order to make the most of it, let's say. And we also had the opportunity to go to a school board, um, where some of my partners introduce ourselves. Teachers coordinate there. And maybe Gladys, you want to add something about this?
Yeah, the school board, we had that moment too, in which as a group we could visit the school board. That was quite interesting because we don't have that situation here in Uruguay, in which you have like the community, the students, the teachers, the local authorities, and the students work. They show what they are doing. The media is also there, showing the rest of the city in that moment, what they are doing, what they are sharing, and in which project they are working. We also had the opportunity to visit a charter school, Parker School in Boston. Um, it is a different school. They completely work on project-based learning. There are no marks, no grades for students. That was like, well, how do they work? And they show us the same students were in charge of showing their projects to us. We visit the school, we visit different subjects. They all work on the same system, but finally the ones showing us the product, the final products were the students. And they are really prestigious. They go to prestigious university after that way of learning. And we were, oh, it really works. We want to continue doing this. The thing is that it was a complete school. That was an amazing thing, but different, too different for us. But it was good to know that.
Um, okay, then maybe something I could add is that regarding lessons at school, I could observe a math lesson, English lesson, and also Spanish. The teacher was Mexican, so that was really interesting. And basically that would be all. And then you have like a social program from the university, and you might go to watch American football, for example. We had like a kind of stadium, let's say, field, and you can do those activities when you have some free time or during the weekend. I watched some plays too. You have concerts maybe, and some like free meals organized to support something related to the university, let's say, and you can share that time with other students from the university or from the program. And I don't know if you'd like to add something else about university.
I want to ask if they all listen to us because they're writing they had a problem with sound. Is it fine now?
It's okay.
It's okay? Oh, okay. We had the same experience regarding culture. They introduce you to the university activities they usually have, even if they are during the week. They tell you, okay, at that time we should go to an ice hockey match. You're going to go there, then a basketball match, and you join as a group. And of course, it is compulsory because you are supposed to be immersed in the culture, and that's good. They organize differently, and sometimes the matches are small. Sometimes they are more important matches at the weekend, and it's the university life, in fact. And if you don't have a family, because in our case, we didn't have a host family, you will be supplied by a teacher who opens the house and receives the students. In our case, we visited 3 teachers. Each Saturday, we visited a different teacher, and it was a way of being inside an American family too. So anyway, that thing is going to be covered.
Good. Then regarding like other activities, yes, in my case, in Colorado, there's a beautiful place called YMCA Estes Park. So I remember one weekend, this was like compulsory, but actually it was like we really had fun together. We spent the weekend there, and maybe we can show some pictures while we speak to illustrate this. Let's see. Sorry, there. Okay, maybe let's start from the beginning. Okay, this was the university, the UNC. The
Look
bears.
At the faces, look at the expressions.
And this was my flat, let's say, where I stayed. And this was my group. We had some t-shirts from the university. We were given these t-shirts, and they are really nice. Okay, this was a technology lesson. I have 2 friends here from Argentina and Colombia. And this is me in one of the classes. Special education, I guess. Okay, this was, this could be part of the other activities I was talking about. This was compulsory anyway. This was at university, and we had the opportunity to be part of a multicultural festival. So we had some time, like 15 minutes each, to present our countries. And there were many people there. As you can see, Brazil here, yes. And okay, we also had to cook traditional food, let's say, and I chose pasta frola de dulce de leche. And there. So we were supposed to add ingredients and to share something, all of us. This was part of the program, let's say. We had other activities such as team building activities, yes, where we had to help each other to achieve something, let's say, to do all these things. This was amazing. The idea was to reinforce this friendship or our relationships, let's say. This was at the beginning, and I think it was an amazing experience. And this is the YMCA Estes Park I was talking about. Okay, we played together there. We like spent some time, in fact. It was kind of holidays, let's say, but it was part of the program and compulsory. What else? Okay, no. Something else we had was, in my case, we had this service learning at Well Food Bank. We had to help the community doing something. That was the idea. So talking about social issues related to that, let's say. And what else? And we had the opportunity to go to a local farm. In fact, this was the farm of one of the teachers. She invited us to spend the afternoon there. And then part of these other activities I was mentioning is the time off. And you have 4 days where you can choose whatever you want to do. This is like kind of holidays, or it'll be a break, let's say, in the middle. And I chose to go to Colorado, and many of us did the same thing. Sorry, to New York, I want to say. And I went with a friend, yes, with the Argentinian girl. And this is important too, because at the beginning, I didn't know if I had to like buy the ticket before going to the United States. And then I said, okay, I'm going to wait, because maybe I meet a partner there, part of that is, participate in the program as myself. Maybe I get on well, and maybe I can go. So if you do that, please don't buy the tickets earlier, because probably you're going to meet somebody and you like to go with that person. And if you don't want to do it, you have time to buy it afterwards anyway. So that's really important. And it was amazing to spend the time together. And we are now friends, and we talk like every day. And so I guess this is really important. Yes, it's not only, okay, I'm going to New York because I want to visit this place. It was my first time there. But I think this relationship that you have with your friends is really important, and it's so close that you're probably going to find somebody you want to go with, let's say, or a group of people. Yes. And maybe you can share your experience during that time off.
Yeah, in my case, because that's optional, you have the 4 free days, but it's your choice if you go somewhere else or not. And in my case, whenever I was checking, that's my personal case, I said 9 hours flight, 12 hours flight, plus the airport, plus all the movements. No, 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 I really don't want to move. And I said, I have Boston 40 minutes away from here. If I want, I can move, just take an Uber and go there. And I stayed, I remained at the ICC, the hotel we were. And okay, we had, in fact, in our case, we had so many projects after the 3 days, and I stayed there and I just prepared the projects. I didn't move during the 4 days, but you have the city, you can walk around, you can do many other things. Weather was also something that slowed me down, because it was 14 degrees minus, and okay, for me it was good to stay, but it was optional. Many other people, yes, they were like brave people, and they flew like 12 hours, and they were in Los Angeles or they were in Arizona. Okay, it depends on you. You are free to choose, of course. That's the good point. You're free. you decide what you do during those 4 days.
Yes, definitely. And okay, you can go shopping too. Yes, there are many different malls. You can buy many things. Most of us did. And of course, those things are optional, let's say. You have this group of drivers that help you to go to different places. And sometimes even you can organize that with them. Um, let's say, which is not a compulsory activity, and maybe you can talk to them and it's fine and they can come and go with you. Yes, maybe with a group of people, much better. And okay, we have a coordinator in the program who is in charge of everything. And then you have different teachers or people like drivers or people who are supporting this program and helping you in different ways. Um, you have an IREX representative, yes, who is going to observe your lessons at school, but just to know that everything's fine and to ask you if you're doing well and to see your presentations, to get to know about your country too, yes. And I don't know, Gladys, about...
The good thing to know is that whenever you have a question about something, you are always free to ask and contact them, all of them. The mentor you have at the university, the coordinator that usually goes, in our case, and I think you told me in your case too, they go each week at the beginning of the week and say, okay, this week, let's revise the schedule. You have this, and if something changes, it's a very easy way to contact them. Just WhatsApp, a group with the whole group, the coordinator, and you ask, and everything is
Yes,
solved quickly.
and
You're
they
not going
let
to
you,
feel alone.
yes, for sure, and they let you know everything. And if something changes, you're going to, I mean, they are going to tell you.
Yes.
um, you might have a kind of meeting also to revise each part. Everything is really organized, really organized. I want to
Sí,
highlight that. um, and also, if you miss your family, they will be there to listen to you, let's say, yes, and to talk to
Yeah.
you, yes.
And then the group too, because they are going to be like in the same uh, situation.
Yes,
They will feel the same. You will feel like the whole week is too fast and you are working a lot and the days are so long. And then Saturday comes and you go down and you realize you're not with your family and the whole group feels the same. So it's everybody is under the same conditions. Don't worry about that.
yes. In my case, I'm a person really misses her family whenever she leaves. And at the beginning, I remember it was kind of strange. Then I got used to it and I was really enjoying. Maybe then I started like missing again some days. And I will never forget I mean, I think it was the last afternoon, or we had only 2 days there in Washington, D.C., that I'm going to talk about that and in a moment. And we were talking with my friend, Noelia, that she's from Argentina. And I asked her, do you really want to go to your country? I mean, let's say the truth. And she's a mother and she's married. That's not my case. And she told me, I would like to spend one more week here with you. I mean, getting to know Washington, D.C., and so on. So, really, it's an amazing experience, right? And you don't have time to miss your family. And you have time to speak also, if you want to. Of course, you will, to call your family. Yes, you have some time after university, yes, during
Yeah,
the evening.
yeah. Usually the schedule was from early in the morning, like 8:30, 9 till 5, 6 p.m. more or less, the workshops during the
Yes,
day. And then
yes,
after 5, 6, you have the rest of evening night for you.
yes.
So you have time to contact them.
And okay, as I was mentioning, the last 3 days you spend them in Washington, D.C., where you stay at a hotel there, and there you meet all the participants of the program from all the countries who were in different universities, but you all get together there. Alejandro was the Uruguayan teacher who went with me, but he spent his time in California. But there we met, yes, and we spent some time together going to different workshops. And you have the opportunity also to present. You can present like a poster explaining something you have learned from the different, I don't know, they give you some topics you have to choose, but they are all related to the courses you had at university. So poster presentation is one option, or you can also do like a kind of organize a workshop, yes, like presentation it would be, and trying to interact with the audience, of course, as we all know. And that's not compulsory. You can choose if you want to do it or not. And you have some time to go around the city. There are some tours organized by them, and you have some free time too. And that's also a very nice experience. I don't know anything else you want to add about Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, I'm going to show you.
Okay, these are my pictures, Washington, D.C. at the hotel. This is Alejandro, the other Uruguayan teacher.
That's the point where we meet with all the universities. So you see,
yes,
the complete group, cohort number 1, full.
Yes, and that's my group. Yes, part of my group, let's say.
Tours are good because time is quite short during Washington.
Yes, it's only 3 days.
3 days, and it runs. And if you have been preparing any kind of presentation or poster session, time is very short. And you also will be over there watching your partners' presentations, and it's really short time. So the tours they have prepared for you, they are excellent.
Yes.
You won't miss anything. And Washington is really beautiful.
Really beautiful. Gladys, do you want to share there your screen? Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my group. That was the first day. The first day we went for our identities, because they prepare the cards for you to move around university. And that card was useful for food. You just swipe them for food, or for the buses. There are buses because the city was like the university, in fact. So from campus to campus, if you want to move, the buses were around there and you just swipe the card. We were so happy that day. There we were in the workshop of leadership. That was the teacher. That was that teacher was also the former head teacher of the Parker School, the charter school. That's why we were so involved in this school at the beginning. Well, that was the poster presentation about our country. We didn't have a kitchen where to cook because I was worried about what to share, and okay, I just brought dulce de leche and bought some cookies over there and just share cookies with dulce de leche and mate and yerba mate, as you see there. This is an instance in which we were visiting our teacher, Sharon. She was one of the gender teachers, and there was a Saturday where we're supposed to be visiting, it says, friendship family dinner. That's how they call it. And this was Andover was middle school, and that was one day in which I was introducing. In this case, I was working with year one, but then I had the opportunity to coordinate with the teacher and to decide what other topics could I teach regarding her her curricular. And sorry, back. Okay, and I taught on street food, Uruguayan street food, and our houses, because they were working on houses and see the differences between the Uruguayan and American houses. These were two curricular trips we did to Harvard and to the MIT. We were on the language area too. We were near Chomsky. We were like fascinated that we were there. But okay, we could not see him, but we were, where is he? It was a very good trip, organized by teachers. That was also good. Um, and here we are working. I decided to show this because maybe you had idea that it's all the time trips and trips and trips and culture. No, it's not all, not also that. Not only that, here you are in many workshops, technology workshop, uh, then the leadership and gender workshop. And you can see all our hands together because that was the beginning of a project of the India participant. She was working on that, and we were like engaged also in other projects. So we continue working with other teachers in a certain way, and also with our partner teachers. We keep in contact, and the idea now, we are like a little paused by this quarantine we have, but then when we return to the rooms, we will keep working together. Well, that was the final date at UMass Lowell. It was the certificate times we had. That was the coordinator. That man you see there, it was AJ, the coordinator. Um, and here, finally, we are in Washington. Those pictures you see there are the posters you prepare in advance. In our case, when we were in Boston, most of them were preparing the posters. And then when you go to Washington, the posters are in that format. And you are like visiting each of your partners, and they are supposed to present the poster that way. Uh,
And you can take the posters home. That was it.
Yes, you can. You can. If you still have space, you can. Um, and that was the program director, Michael Cuban, and was like the final day in Washington. Um, Everybody obtained that degree, and well, in our case, we were like in a hurry, because of these flights and the borders that were closing. It was immediately after the lunch we had together, but everything was much more than enjoyable. And that's all we have in pictures to summarize the experience. You are
Maybe,
going to find the videos and in the comments of the promotion of this Zoom we had, so you can watch anything else if you want. And if you
yes.
have questions, please ask.
Maybe something we didn't mention is that you have two ceremonies when you start and when you finish the program. There you meet, in the open ceremony, you meet your families, all the teachers, and okay, you are with your partners and so on. And then when you finish the program, you also have this ceremony where you are given the certificates, as Gladys was showing the pictures. And there you're supposed to, maybe one of the participants speaks, yes, and talks about the experience, or the experience summarizes feelings and so on. And some of the teachers also speak, and you can show something cultural related to your countries, or maybe you have two people dancing or singing or
Mhm.
doing something related to the culture of a specific country. For example, in my case, I I danced candombe for the audience. So And Charmin, who is from Bangladesh, also showed this typical dance, let's say, and from her country. And that's also a very nice time you spend together. And then the following day you leave to Washington, D.C.
And then you
And yes,
realize most teachers, it doesn't matter where they come from, they are like in the same role with the same mission in the room. And you have instances in which you share your experiences and you are from so diverse parts of the world and you say, oh my God, we are suffering the same situation. We have the same challenges in the room. And then you have like an instance in which all together have to suggest ways of improving those situations. And that's really the rich part of the workshops in which you work together and you realize you're just teachers.
Gladys, Liana
Yeah, I
and
was reading that.
Simone, yes, are
In
sharing.
fact, Sharon, when she saw me with the mate, and when she saw me, I was from Uruguay. She told me about Martina, and she told me she came to Uruguay. I think she also had a workshop here. I didn't get when was that because she told me about like a conference. I never realized she was here before. She told me. Um, and she was very happy of Uruguay.
Mhm.
Yeah, she was very proud of Uruguay. And also at Parker School, there was a teacher that knew about Uruguay and they know about our education. That was something that they mentioned before. We should feel proud. We sometimes we don't realize how good we are in certain things.
Yes, thank you for that, because when I was like in the different lessons at university, sharing our experiences or things related to technology, um, you can see that Uruguay is an amazing country,
Yeah.
basically, and that we have like Plan Ceibal, CREA, and everything that helps a lot. And nowadays that we are suffering all these, we can even continue teaching. And in some countries, they don't have even, I mean, Wi-Fi connection or computers, one computer per student or per child, let's say. The situations are really different. I had some
Mhm.
partners who could not,
Yeah.
who had like difficulties with computers and trying to work with different programs, let's say, even with Office, let's say. And so you get to know your country when you are there too. Um, in my case, I also had to prepare something related to special education. It's a topic I'm really interested in, but I had to investigate about it and how we deal with this kind of situations in Uruguay. So I was in the United States talking to a teacher who was here that I work with at Liceo 42, and she was telling me her experience with students with different difficulties, let's say visual impairment or different things. And because I didn't really know about that, yes. And I was like talking on the phone with somebody I see every day now here in Montevideo. So that was amazing too. I was investigating and studying about my country there, yes, because I had to show that. And is that you get to know that you don't know everything about, even about your country. So imagine how much you can learn when you go there and spend time with people from all around the world with different realities, um, experiences, culture. It's amazing. And that's one of the best things you learn there, to respect others' culture and to, and it's like you feel proud of being Uruguayan. I really like Uruguay, my country. I'll never leave this country. But I mean, is that you, even though you might be angry, let's say, about different things that happen or whatever, you tend to really value what you have here. Yes, or at least you feel proud of it and just show the differences. That's amazing too. Yes,
Uh,
and
I agree that you have to study your country a lot. What happened to me is that whenever I mentioned Uruguay, it was Uruguay. I don't get it. That what's that? Argentina, and it was like we were like the little province of another country, or like the little brother, because we were so similar all the time. So the the challenge for the presentation was like to make the difference, to highlight the points that are unique for Uruguay, so you know Uruguay, because I have nothing, no problem with Argentina, but you have to know Uruguay. That's the thing. If we know many countries around the world and we can know the differences, they should also know. So the challenge was to say, okay, this is Uruguay. This is another Argentina. This is Uruguay. So highlight and study a lot about Uruguay. What do we have in common? What differences we have? Because also for us, sometimes, yeah, we are like the same. We keep saying that, but in fact, you are representing Uruguay, not Argentina and Uruguay. That was the thing.
yeah,
The other thing that they was saying at the beginning is that this is an opportunity. If you are deciding to take or not, you should. Why? Because the difference with many other countries is that you, thanks to that connection between inspection and the embassy, you have the support. That's important to say. Many other teachers were there from other parts of the world. They were like us, away from the families, but at the same time they were worried about my job when I return to my country. What's going to happen with me? My salary, my everything that is affecting, in fact, me as a person, and I'm still here studying and trying to improve as a teacher. That was like, oh my God, it's really happening that you don't have the complete support. Are you there? Yeah, they were there, and they were with many worries regarding many other things. And that was not the situation for Uruguay, for example. That's important to highlight. You will
yes,
feel, for example, here, my roommate, she was from Nepal. Um, she has many differences in teaching. For example, girls in that part of the world, you won't imagine, but when they have their period, for example, they are not there in the classroom, and teachers are fighting and to teach their families that we are in modern times and we can solve that situation, and they should not be put apart somewhere in the house in those days. And that's a very human challenge they are still fighting against. And it's not the situation for us, for example. And apart from that kind of things, they are still trying to improve. That's a culture thing, of course. It's a very hard thing for a teacher. They are like uh, trying to improve as a teacher, and they leave everything behind and they go there to study. So I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but there are there are harder situations regarding teaching that we don't know and we realize when we are there. And many other things that they learn from other countries that they say, oh, it's like the world is divided in modern times, like in many centuries behind regarding certain cultural things. And that's a real barrier they have. For me, that was really meaningful because I learned. That was a way to learn not only about how to teach, how pedagogy or didactics, or how to deal with a lesson, but to know that the role of a teacher around the world is diverse.
yes. In my case, we had two women who were pregnant at that time during the program. Yes, and we celebrated a baby shower, and it
Oh,
was like the first time they were part of one baby shower, let's say, and that was amazing. And we learned a lot about names, how they choose names for babies, certain requirements that they have. So as you were saying, Gladys, this is amazing because of what you learn about different cultures.
yeah, diversity is huge.
Yeah. I had very interesting conversations with, I remember a guy from Turkey talking about religion. Yes, so it's amazing. It's amazing. And I wanted to read what Simone wrote here. You also learn a lot about yourself, and definitely, I learned new things there, and now it's like I would like to study about certain topics. I was introduced there. Yes, I know I want to continue studying, and it's like I decided some things for me, let's say, while I was there, or at least I started thinking about new things. Let's say,
Yeah.
I came really motivated.
Yeah. They also teach you that's something important. It happened twice. It happened at the end in Lowell and also in Washington. How to come here with the new ideas and not be like someone imposing things, because that's also for everybody. That regards all the countries. You are there and okay, you come from America with new ideas. What are you saying? No, it's like they also prepare you for everything, how to reach um, the correct places and the correct ways of contacting people, then how to help you, because you cannot do things alone. That's also something you learn there. If you come with a huge idea in your mind and don't know how to establish it, you have to contact other teachers, other people, and they guide you how to do that.
Mm-hmm. I don't
That's
know if you have any questions. The deadline is the next Saturday, the 18th.
next Saturday.
So for this program.
I know many people who have fulfilled the things like an hour before the deadline, and they are really lucky. So if you want, try to do it now. The thing that will take time is the recommendation letter. That's the thing you should not leave to the end of this.
And if you have any questions or you need something, we are here to help you too. You can write.
Yeah, you can write to us also.
Maybe we can leave here emails. So
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Gabriela, that you're always supporting us. And
thank you, girls.
For all of you for being here. It's so nice to share this experience, really, indeed. And it's amazing. I have to say that it's the best thing that happened to me, professionally speaking. Really, really, it is amazing. And I remember I told this to you, Gladys, before you jumped on this experience, and I think you had the same feeling while you were there and when you came back.
Yeah, this was a great opportunity, because in my case it was like WhatsApp with Elena asking so many questions the days before because they didn't know. So now you have in advance like a little show of how it is, and the details you will find there.
Okay, well, so if you don't have any questions, we can like finish here.
Okay.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye.